I believe that the recent advancements from DeepSeek OCR is absolutely massive for whoever is using AI agents to build things. Like Cursor, Claude Code, Windsurf, yeah. So I'll actually divide this video into parts. The first one is really explaining about the DeepSeek OCR and why I think it will really improve the way that we use these kind of tools. And then I'll explain how you can use the DeepSeek OCR, not for actually building anything, but just as a curiosity of how you can get an OCR model or really any model up to a cloud GPU and use it in your own project locally. There's an entire paper on DeepSeek OCR, but long story short, if you look at this table, you'll notice that a similar to DeepSeek OCR model, which is the Miner 2.0, was able to compress at a 0.2x. Now, what that roughly means is that if I grab this entire page right here as a text and send it over to, let's say, Codex, this would waste an X amount of tokens, which is exactly the plain text row right here. Now, if instead of sending over the text, I were to just take a screenshot of the page and send this exact screenshot over to Codex, this would spend about 5 times more tokens than if I were to just send the text. This is actually pretty common inside of Claude or ChatGPT or Gemini, any of the AI assistants. If you start sending a bunch of images or PDFs, it seems like your context window runs out much faster than if you just type things out. But then came Got OCR that really flipped this around, and it enabled us to send an image and actually have those tokens be represented 5 times fewer than an actual text. And on its own, this is pretty huge already, but then came DeepSeek OCR that with only 100 tokens per page got us up to a 13x compression versus text, which means that if you grab all the text and every token that would be produced by that text, instead of those amount of tokens, you'd be now using 13 times less and still maintaining the context. To be fair, the values are actually this right here. So up to 7x compression, we get a 98.5% accuracy. The 10x compression is actually the sweet spot where you have up to 97% accuracy. And then above that, you kind of start losing the accuracy. And by the way, if you're curious about this tokens per page, imagine this as your memory RAM. So with 256 megabytes of RAM, Got model was able to do a 5x compression. But what DeepSeek did was basically get a 10x compression using only 100 megabytes of RAM. This is really a rough comparison, but just for you to understand how massive this is. But to be honest, before we actually have practical examples of using this system from the DeepSeek OCR, we should ideally be a bit more conservative and not expect exactly 10x improvement of token usage. So all that said, where I see this shining is to fetch context inside of our project. Because now instead of fetching for all of the text and then just converting this text over to token text, we can now just use this as images, use vision tokens, which will spend much less of our context window, yet allowing it to still have the same precision. While I was editing, I noticed I didn't place kind of a disclaimer for this, but there's a few things that we need to do before ensuring that this DeepSeek OCR technology can actually work for the coding agents. So I asked Claude to list this for me. And yeah, first of all, it's not an easy adoption. So models like Claude or GPT would have to be trained and actually have this feature inside of them, which might end up changing their performance. And we would also need some proof that code compression remains high when processing them visually. I even think there are more things that are required that wasn't really listed here, but if this works and we're able to compress large code bases by a ratio of 10x, it would be absolutely massive. Even if it's not 10x or 5x, even if it just reduces by half the amount of token usage, it's already a huge improvement. And it's really awesome to see these advancements coming through. Now let's actually install DeepSeek OCR inside of your own GPU cloud. The first thing you'll need is this document right here. I'll provide it down in the description, obviously for free. And what you want to do is just grab this file and place it inside of a folder of your Google Drive. Because over at vast.ai, by the way, this video is not being sponsored. I'm honestly just using it because it was the one recommended from Claude. Inside of this panel, the first thing you'll want to do is go over to settings. Inside of settings, you'll want to go over to Claude Connection. In Claude Connection, just click to connect Google Drive. And after you go through the settings, it's pretty intuitive, by the way, you'll have this section down here, which lists your connection with Google Drive. I got ahead of myself and forgot to explain that this is obviously not for free. I placed in a minimum of $5 as you can see right here. And the amount that you'll waste depends on which GPU you select. So let's now go over to templates. Inside of templates, search for CUDA, select the TensorFlow CUDA, click select right here, and it'll now show you all the GPUs available for that given template. Now, in case you're not running DeepSeek OCR for this, at least take a look at Claude.ai to check which is the right GPU for your case. For the DeepSeek OCR, I was recommended either an RTX 3090 or a 4090. Let me sort by the pricing right here. Now let me scroll down until I find, actually let me just type in a 3090. Okay, so I found one down here, which is $0.125 per hour, but it's all the way in China. I want to find one closer to me. Here is from China as well. China, India, Singapore. Okay, so now I've just limited it to North and South America. Let me search for it now. It seems like in Utah, USA, there is a pretty nice GPU, which I just rented. As soon as you get that GPU, you can head over to instances. You'll see that it's now just starting up and it might take around like 3 to 5 minutes. While this is running, let me show you the Next.js project. This is a project which will also be available in the description of the video that you can run with npm. So all you really have to do, let me clear out the terminal, is npm -i, wait for it to install the packages, and then npm run dev. If you have any questions on how to get npm installed and everything, just let me know down in the comment section. After you run this, you just head over to localhost 3000 and the app will be running there just fine. But before you actually run the app, so let me clear this out, you'll have to add this environment variable, which we'll do after the GPU starts. Okay, after a while, it seems like it's running pretty fine. Now, what you want to do is click in this cloud icon right here and place in the name of the folder that your file is in over at your Google Drive. So since mine is inside of vast.ai, I'll just type that in, and then path to destination, which will be the folder inside of your server. I'll just make it vast.ai as well. Click to sync. If it fetches the file correctly and just inserts it to your server, you'll get a positive message here right away, just like this. So Cloud copy operation sent successfully. Okay, you can close this. Now open the Jupyter icon right here. This will take you to this instance with a token up here that really anyone can access, at least for now. Ideally, you'll want to make this safe, but let me just access it for now to show you guys how to run it. As soon as you open that folder, so vast.ai, your file will be in there. Click on that file. The Jupyter Notebook instance will open with that given file. Now, I'll actually have to do a cleanup here, but in the fourth step, you'll see this token right here, which is my token from ngrok. You can get your ngrok token over at the dashboard for ngrok. Just create an account, pretty simple. And you can find that token right here. Just grab that token exactly as it is here. Go back to your Jupyter Notebook and fill it in down here. That's really all you have to do. And then you could just select run and click to run all cells. After you do that, if you're not familiar with Jupyter Notebook, you can follow along with each tab. So this one is 1, 2, it was already executed, 3 was executed. If you don't see a number, it's probably because that section is still running. The 5th section might take a while since it needs to install the entire DeepSeek OCR model. But eventually, as you scroll down, everything might be checked and working just fine. Now, the main part of the app that you have to pay attention to is this one right here, because this will basically log everything that happens. Now, down here, you'll get your ngrok link. Let me copy this, open another tab, and just type in /health. Click to visit site, and you should get this back. Now, if you visit exactly that point where it logs everything and just send this over like 3 more times, you'll see that all the 3 times were registered here. So all this really means is that we can now access our server by sending requests through to these specific endpoints. Now, with this link, grab that, go back to your .env.local, paste that in, and now you can run your app again. So npm run dev, open localhost 3000. Now let me just grab a PDF example here and click to process document. Now my prompt is as simple as convert the document to Markdown. So process the document. And by the way, this example PDF is actually an example PDF. It's really just this right here, and it should be able to convert everything that we're seeing here over to an actual text format. Yeah, it took a while, but there it is. And bear in mind that whenever you use a third-party API, they will have a much better GPU than this. So it will be much faster as well. Let me scroll down so we can check if everything seems right. And yeah, honestly, it's just about it. So yeah, while fetching YouTube, I really didn't find someone teaching us how to send DeepSeek OCR over to a cloud GPU. And I just thought it would be something interesting to show it here in the channel. So yeah, leave a like if this helped you at all. Leave a comment down below if you have any questions, and I'll see you in the next video. Till then.